Braving the unknown, building confidence for your next move. If you feel like you were born for more, well, you are absolutely right. But many times, it's a lack of self-confidence that holds us back. In this episode, I walk you through the process I used to create more self-confidence and powerfully step into monetizing my own personal brand online and teaching my clients to do the same. Whether it's going for that next promotion, switching jobs, switching career paths, or starting your own business, if a lack of confidence is holding you back from your next move, I've got your back in this episode. When I got promoted the first time to manager, I'd only been with the company for a month, and you would expect that I would have felt ecstatic. But in reality, I felt like I'd tricked everyone. What were they thinking? They had clearly misunderstood. I didn't have any clue how to manage people. I was only 26 years old. I had hardly been managed myself. So I was proud, like, wow, look what I accomplished. But at the same time, man, did I feel ill-prepared. You can't learn to be a leader in books or in business school. Sorry. You have to learn to lead in the field. You have to actually interact with other people to get what all those techniques they taught you were really about. Fast forward less than 2 years later, I had 8 direct reports and over 100 staff. Now those 2 years were indeed a leadership workshop. So what does this have to do with confidence? I've been talking with people over the last several weeks about what is keeping them from doing more public speaking and selling their services online. And nearly all of them have referred to lacking confidence or feeling imposter syndrome, meaning that they feel like maybe they don't have all the necessary knowledge to be the one on stage speaking, to be the thought leader on the topic. Imposter syndrome sounds and feels like maybe I don't know enough, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I don't have enough experience to be the one talking on this. Or like I felt when I got that first promotion, am I really qualified? Am I prepared enough for this? Well, let's look, because instead of saying, oh, just think positive, maybe you don't know enough. See, when I was starting that first leadership role, I was clueless about what I was doing. I didn't know how to resolve conflicts in the best way. I didn't know how to motivate people to do their best. I didn't know how to keep a team engaged and working towards a common goal. I didn't know how to manage vendors, how to negotiate. I didn't know how to be assertive to employees that were older than my parents. I didn't know how to deal with other people's drama. So, if I had been asked to speak on the topic of leadership at that time to an executive audience, I would have felt like an imposter, and rightly so, because indeed, I had not yet successfully learned to lead. I'm using this example to illustrate that if you have not yet achieved the goal, don't sell yourself as the thought leader on how to do it. Don't get up on stage to tell people how and why they can achieve it. In some cases, imposter syndrome may actually be a sign that you're not the subject matter expert. So it's important to evaluate how deep your knowledge runs, because nowadays people just say, oh no, that's imposter syndrome. Like saying, that's normal to feel that way, just go present. So first, look at what do you know about the topic? How does your level of experience with the topic compare to that of your audience? Because if I had been asked to give a speech on leadership to kindergartners or even to high schoolers, well, at that same point, I was further along than they were. So I did have valuable knowledge to share on leadership. So let's answer a few questions to take inventory. Think for a minute about a topic you'd like to present on, but you still feel very nervous and full of self-doubt. Start out by asking yourself a few questions. What do I know about this topic? What experiences have I had with this topic that have been particularly meaningful? How does my level of knowledge compare to that of my audience? If we're a peer group, say we're all dentists, what specialized knowledge or key experience can I share with them, like a tip or a shortcut? Why is my angle of looking at the issue different? How can I share a message about this topic in a unique way that will reach them differently to help them draw new conclusions? See, here's the thing. If you're a first-year economics student and you're asked to present to an audience of PhD economists, you would probably feel like an imposter if you were going to talk to them about price behavior when the demand curve shifts. They got that one down better than you do. But if you were going to talk to that same audience about how Expedia's sort by price feature is affecting air travel demand amongst Generation Z, then you'll for sure get their attention with a new angle of looking at the topic. So after you've done this inventory of what you know and how you can communicate it in a unique way, if you still feel like you're an imposter, then the problem could be that you've not created a message that's truly and authentically yours. You may be regurgitating someone else's information, and in that case, well, you are being an imposter because you're not bringing you to the stage. So rework that message until it becomes yours. Once it's your message, if someone else delivers it, they'll be the imposter. Only you can come through in your own unique way. Now, a few people have told me that they get nervous because the material they're presenting feels inconsequential to them, like it's not tied to their life's purpose. It doesn't particularly inspire them. And so they feel like they just have to memorize and rattle off a bunch of information. And they're afraid, of course, of freezing up or of making a mistake. So for those people, I have 3 tactics that have helped me immensely in that type of situation. I used this a lot back when I was presenting in corporate environments, when the material I was presenting on felt dry, like giving out financial results that didn't particularly touch or move the audience. The first tactic is, don't make it about what you want to say. Make it about what your audience needs to hear. So start your preparation by answering the questions, who are they and what matters to them? The second tactic is structure it so it's about more than just hearing information. Not just what do you want them to know, but how do you want them to feel? What do you want them to do? For example, what do you want them to feel? What emotions do you want them to experience? Do you want them to be excited or concerned? Do you want them to feel confident, validated, or like they're about to miss out on an opportunity? What do you want them to do? Be specific. Do you need something specific from them? Do you need more budget? Do you need more staff? Do you need the audience to give a like or a review on your video? Do you need a contact? The third tactic, just remind yourself before you start, just remind yourself that you have value to bring. Worry is the same as praying for the worst outcome. So the only way that you can get nervous is if you're projecting a negative future outcome. But you need to be present in the moment, to be there with your audience. So be willing to let the future unfold on its own. Now, the final thing I want to offer you today to help you build that self-confidence, and I'm going to quote Fawn Weaver, one of the most successful female entrepreneurs in history. Fawn says, ask yourself, who was I before the world told me who I should be? Connect with that person and take her to the stage. So to summarize, for all of you dealing with imposter syndrome out there, I'm going to read back the questions I asked you earlier as action items so that now you can get to work on them to get over the imposter syndrome forever. So here's your list of actions. Write out what you know about the topic. What experiences have you had with the topic that have been particularly meaningful? Look at how your level of knowledge compares to that of your audience. If it's a peer group, what specialized knowledge or key experience can you share to give them a tip or a shortcut? Why is your angle of looking at the issue different? What different angles could you look at the issue from? How can you share a message about the topic in a unique way that will help them draw a new conclusion? So time to get to work answering those questions so you can courageously take the stage with confidence and silence that imposter for good. I'm Melissa Marchand, grateful to support you with tactics that work for selling your services. And if you know someone else who can benefit from this, please share the episode.